you. Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes redundant world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can't wait for this shit to end.
Hey.
Happily it is. And so this is the end, and it'll be sweet until season 3 happens. Hello! We're talking about the curious case of Natalia Grace. Season 2, episode 6. It's called One Door Closes. And what a window it opened at the end. So, okay, I hate this so much. I'm so mad. So basically, we had talked about, obviously, some of the sexual discussions we had with Natalia back in the day. We talked about, Christine putting makeup on her. We know that at the Westfield Apartments, there was like some real weird, shady behavior, whether some happened at the mental house and whether maybe some happened before in Ukraine. Like, it's all really shady and fucked up the entire time. And then on top of that, and this is where I hate this for the doc's producers, they know all that. But then on that, they're going to layer this, an accusation that they gave to Michael for season 1 from Freddie, who is the musician-y kind of road man from yesteryear.
Hoarder. Let's
Yeah,
start
that
that.
Christine had reached out to find out about little people living like successfully or well. And Freddie makes an accusation that Christine had told him that she had found Natalia and Michael. She had said they fucked, they had sex, she found them having sex, there were sexual relations, she accused him of having an affair. It's like this man on camera, we're watching him, like if I was holding up my laptop, which I can't do, is I'm recording this on my laptop, to Michael. It's all like so, it feels fake. Like it feels, I don't know, it feels, the way that they present every part of this feels so hard to latch onto, and this feels so sensational. And then they have to make Michael and Natalia both react to it, and both are like vehemently like, absolutely fucking not.
Yes.
Why do they bring this up? Because Christine's not there to make the accusation. Freddie isn't really there. He's like in an interview that they are just like, what, like, is it, yeah, what's happening?
And then what's Terrence's opinion? Since he has all these opinions. So what does he think about this? Is what I want to know.
Great.
What do you think about this, sir? Okay. Then also, Freddie alleges that Christine also told him that Natalia was also sleeping with a neighbor's husband. So,
oh yeah,
there's that. So it's all just, and meanwhile, Natalia is still 7, 8, 9 years old.
Disgusting.
So then both Natalia and Michael are like, abso-effing-lutely not. And then we go back to Natalia and Michael sitting together. So this is all done separately, where we have Michael and Natalia separate, saying hell no, hell no, hell no. And then they're sitting together back with his mutton chops and his tall glass of water, and her sitting next to him. And she's like, did you know about the pepper spray? Did you know she pepper sprayed me? And he's like, I just found out 2 weeks ago. We cut to Beth, the analyst. And she's like, why did Michael lie about that? He knew about that a year ago. He knew about that 2 years ago. He knew about it because he said he knew about it. So why is he lying to her face that he didn't know? The reason is because Michael is a coward. He doesn't want to admit to her that he knew all the things that were going on about her, because then he would have to admit culpability to really having had done nothing. Because right now he's saying, yeah, I knew that she hit you. I knew that the boys kicked you down the stairs, but that they all made Christine, because he can't deny some things. But anything that he can deny, he will deny, because he doesn't want to look like a bad guy, because he really, really wants to hide behind the fact that Christine made him do it. So she's like, well, what lies did she tell you, or what did she make up about me? Like, and he's like, I really don't want to go down this road. Like, he doesn't want to have to like blanketly say all of the things that he's talked about. And he's like, but you did have a knife in our bedroom. And she's like, no, that never happened. And he's like, well, you did. And the way he says it just so plainly, he's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, you did. And he's like, I did find one underneath your bed. And she's like, well, why would I do that? I couldn't even get to it. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, girl. But you did. And at this point, even the analyst is like, it seems like she doesn't actually remember to say no. She just doesn't remember that she did. She doesn't remember whether, like, she's saying she would not and she could not because of these things, not necessarily like emphatically no. And the Beth is also saying, like, even if she had, she probably did because she was experiencing trauma. And the way that Michael is saying it so plainly, it's like, so to me, it's neither here nor there whether or not it did happen. I don't care. I honestly don't care. There's been so much shit happening to her that whether or not she had a knife, I don't think that she was a threat. She could barely hold the knife, even if she had one. They weren't in any actual danger. She wasn't strong enough to do anything to them.
Yes.
So to me, that's how I feel.
I completely agree. And, like, there, of course, the documentary is going to go back to then like footage of her saying that she had knives, like when she's young. And so they want to, they want to say, well, maybe she had them also, maybe she had them for self-defense. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why she could, or she maybe did, or, like she was playing with something, or, whatever. I think that she probably, I in my heart of hearts feel like this person acted out, obviously. And I think that this person was meant and or triggered by someone, an environment, two parents that were not ever going to put her needs, in front of them and or give her what she needed based upon, why they took her in. And I guess the circumstances. And one of the sadder parts of this, and the Natalia, like, I feel like wants to know, especially in the beginning, is like, why didn't you just like get me to someone else who fucking liked me? Which is a really hard thing to hear and have her say or whatever. And anyway, so basically, she also wants to say that, we hear about this reactive attachment disorder as also being one of the reasons that she definitely admits to, like, could be for any sort of behavior that also happened. But she also says she had behavior issues when she went to the man, said that she was lying, stealing, cussing, and that they really righted her. Now, here is where it gets and feels a little propaganda-y. It always has felt a little contrived and a little propaganda-y, the amount of happiness, stability, safety, and perfection that is her life with the man's, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's been not just perpetrated by her. In fact, she's kind of like the less perpetrator of the perfection that has been perpetrated, there's a lot of P words, by really like Cynthia and Antoine, because Cynthia can't stop saying and it's true, how victim she was and what she endured and how ideal she is now in the environment with the mans. You know what I'm saying? And the mans are very front-facing Christians. And there's a goddamn person named Bishop, and or he's a bishop, and his name is Antoine. Okay, I keep thinking this person's, I'm like, in my mind of like no, he was not born bishop. He's Bishop Antoine.
He's not a bishop.
He didn't go to any Jesus-y, Jesus-y, and the hands-on and everything or whatever. And so
I can't imagine that person writing a paragraph nor a sentence. So I can't imagine anybody's bishop.
So unfortunately, the pageantry of that kind ofness is hard for us as truth-going folk to like latch onto as being like, well, now she's saved. We can't, like, listen, there are some people watching this docuseries that are like, well, she got into a good Christian home, so she's saved. Okay. And that's, and I know that that's what's happening. And that is crazy.
They got 11 kids.
I'm not saying
they're irresponsible.
I'm not saying that there aren't good Christian folk. And I'm not saying that like religion doesn't help people. But what I'm saying is these peeps aren't it. And so there's no part of the Saki series where you're like, oh, Natalia's done. Or, you're like, oh, Natalia found it, honey, the Holy Land. Okay. So
Mhm.
having said that, she's like, but that's what's being told to us. Like, oh, at first, yeah, she came, but now, they've stabilized me in a loving home. And now I know what it's like to have brothers and sisters, that parents that care about me, that, like we all live such a happy life, or the kids just run over and just hug them and kiss them and tease them and everything is chill. Like everything is great. And meanwhile, like there's Genesis, like, except for the time you bit me, I'm just kidding. Like there's some cracks, and everyone, the producers, know that we've been shown them. We're picking up on
Yeah.
them.
No, Antoine, something wrong with him. He's quick. No, something wrong with him. And then Cynthia, something wrong with her too. Like just picking up a girl off the street and taking care of her, and then just using her EBT,
The
and then
EBT thing, yeah.
just using up her EBT. Like, what processes did they put in place to really just take this girl underneath their wing? One, two, they just adopted her, like at the end of this when she's 19. That's fine, but like, what was stopping them from doing that before? Maybe it was the Barnetts. I don't know.
Can I say
It's
something? Isn't it interesting why she wants to do this? She says to change her name. She's like, I don't want to be a Barnett anymore, which I totally get. But in my mind, I'm like, you going to change your name? She's already 19. So in my mind, I'm like, is there a legal benefit to her being adopted by them? But maybe you're right. Or you didn't say this, but maybe it's because of that thing where, because God bless, she's considered someone that needs to have help. Maybe someone needs to have like a certain guardianship, or maybe the adoption is strictly a way for her to them to get funds as like some sort. I'm sorry. Yes. What I'm trying to
yes.
understand is
I just
why she feels like she wants to get rid of the Barnett name and not be associated with them, which is a name change, but for some reason, adoption's happening at
yeah.
19.
And they're in the liquor store with her EBT card when we see her at the beginning one. They're not even in like a grocery store. Like they're in the liquor
Oh,
store. So like I don't trust the Manses at all. Like the fact that they would irresponsibly take 11 kids or however many kids they got, it's too many, is what it is. It's too many. Any more than 4, it's too many. When they have a disabled Natalia, that bathroom, their house is derelict. Like it's not derelict, but it is on its last leg. Like they live behind that church. How many parishioners do they have? How do they make money besides off of all of those children that
kids.
biologically do not look like they belong to him? So I have a lot of questions. I do not trust the Mans. I don't think that, I mean, yes, you could say that they're doing whatever, but like it's too much. It's too much. It's too many.
Babes, you
I don't
can't
trust them.
trust the man, so you can't trust the man. Now, here we are. So basically, they're like, well, they really just wanted closure, this Michael Natalia thing. So they close this situation. Natalia's like, Michael, I forgive you. And
Can
like
I pray
Michael's,
with you? And I'm like, Jesus.
oh, I know. And then Bishop's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God bless. So then Natalia, like, then Michael gets on his like knees, and Natalia like does the whole thing, like, and basically like does the thing that's like the condescending Christian prayer, which is, I hope and pray that God comes into your soul someday and fucking writes you. It's always this prayer of like okay. I wasn't raised evangelical. Okay. So this part is always weird to me because in my Catholic ways, no one has like the power to do that to you except for a priest. You know what I'm saying? When bishop is against the bishop. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a priest, but even a priest wouldn't like say that like kind of thing. Like it's thanks God. A priest is more like listening to your fucking shit and then is like, I don't know
5
you
Hail
to do.
Marys and
Yeah,
7 Our
it's like
Fathers.
it's yeah. And so there's not like this kind of like I don't know if God's gonna forgive you, but it's like it's a weird like this is why I'll never forget. Like I'll be honest, there's been times in which people have tried to pray over me in this way, and I won't stand for it. I find it really condescending and like sort of disrespectful about my relationship with God. Like every time this has happened, it's always been like, and because it'll always be like someone being like, yeah, like I pray that the Holy Spirit comes into your heart. And I'll be like, bitch, what makes you think he's not there? How dare you? I'm sorry, me,
Mm.
HS been kicking it. I've been like I know this shit, of course. Like, like why are you it's always it's a very condescending thing. So but whatever, she needs to do her thing. God bless. And she's been Bishop's been doing this over her, whatever, God bless. And Michael puts up with it, gets in his fucking car, puts on the same shitty K-rock alternative rock station that brought him here, puts in that whatever music it is. It's like bad, it's like off-brand
Nirvana,
Black Eyed Peas, or like not Black Eyed Peas. I know, I'm so sorry. I went to say like, oh no, I went to go
Nirvana,
say
Smashing Pumpkins,
Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, and then that's what came
Okay.
out. My own fault. Make it better,
Black
Christina.
Hole Sun, won't you come?
Wash
Wipe away
the
this
rain.
rain.
I love it. I mean, listen,
Black
I'll listen.
Hole
Great song. What a
Sun.
voice that one, that Chris Cornell. What a voice. By the way, he does like a lot of crazy covers. He like was a great musician in RIP. So, and like that's why I said broke down, because Soundgarden's great, but like that's not what who's listening to. Please let me move on. So basically, we
It's adoption
cut to,
day.
yeah.
Oh,
We
she
cut to the
apologized.
biggest, what?
Adoption day. Yeah,
Yeah.
adoption day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oof. So it's adoption day. They're all wearing like matching shirts or whatever, same something. They're all there and they're all like so excited. And they get into the court and she like swears and raises her right hand. And then the judge is like, so your birth date here says one thing, but your legal document here says another date. And she's like, yeah, I was re-aged at the age of 8. And she's the thing is like, oh, but what does your birth certificate said? That I was born in 2006. And they're like, oh, so whatever it is, you're an adult. Like, yeah. Which is crazy.
The
Isn't that
courts
crazy?
well, there's always like the courts in this situation can't wait to not have to deal with her. They're like, what do you want to be? What do you think you're gonna be? Fine, get on here.
It's like,
like,
could you imagine having a birth certificate say that you were born in 2009 and then having a legal ID saying that just
don't tempt me with a good time.
Saying that you're 33 and you just
so
be
young,
and everyone's just like, what? And you're just like, yeah, these maniacs re-aged me at the age of 8 when I clearly have a documentation from a country saying that I was 8. So they just moved me up 15 years. So yeah,
I'm gonna re-age myself. I'm gonna re-age myself younger. I'm gonna go to a
but
doctor right now. I'm
she
gonna
needs to re-age herself.
I am going to
re-age
I'm going to go to a dermatologist. I'm going to be like, look at this skin. What do you think the skin is? I know you think the skin is a little younger. And what do you think the skin is? And I'm going to have a dermatologist be like, that is 29-year-olds.
But why hasn't she re-aged herself already? Why hasn't she re-aged herself?
I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer.
Yeah. I mean,
they
I guess
cry. They cry so much.
And it's a wonderful moment, but I really need her to re-age herself and, do all the things that she needs to do. Because once she re-ages herself, now I don't know the statute of limitation, but she needs to civil and go and sue every single one of them.
Seems like that's what's going to happen. Like, that's what feels like. They keep hinting at that, and Terrence is on the offensive for it, like why would Terrence be there? Like, what is Terrence hoping will happen? Or,
but he should just drop him as a client. Like, that's the truth. Why stay with Michael? Once she gets re-aged and there's actual evidence that the girl is like between 19 and 22, this is a lost fucking cause. What's your case now?
Did Terrence get paid by this docuseries for the entire thing? Because Michael could not have had enough money to pay Terrence, and Terrence didn't win a settlement from Natalia nor Christine. So how is Terrence worthwhilely benefiting from this situation from Michael?
Like, I don't know.
Think about that. Like,
but what's his conscience telling him? Like, at some point, the conscience
money.
Hey, money
and power. My money and power. I just reading this, by the way. I'm reading like this Jackie Onassis, whatever biography, and like something her mom said was just like, they just said like that one time her mom was named Lee, and then like she had a daughter named Lee. Okay, her mom one time was like, the secret to happiness is money and power. And I was like, I mean, definitely education, I think, is like, and knowledge is the trifecta. Because you have to have knowledge in order to spend your money right, in order to like, and use your power in ways to be happy. And I'm not, because like, here's the thing. If you're going to say, I need to be surrounded by my family and friends for us to be happy and for us to be healthy. Yeah. Health costs money. And the best way to make money is to have a certain amount of power. So unfortunately, that's true. But I also think knowledge is the thing, education or knowledge, a want or a curiosity for, a betterment or good, because then you're just a shitty person. I think there's a lot of like shitty people that don't have like the curiosity of a mind to have like an education and or a knowledge about things that would make them happy, but they do have money and power, but they always lose them anyway. So this is basically what happens at the end of this. Again, the court and the judge is like, okay, well, whatever you want to be is whatever you want to be. Can I like fucking get off this and go to like have my lunch and my like rosé of the day? I mean, I have to tell you, like, every court really does a disservice to her. So in the sense of everyone just is like, whatever it has to be, anyway. The documentary is like, great. You guys all cry. Everyone's so happy. Everyone hugs. Bishop like can't stop crying. He basically doesn't even like hug Natalia as much as he just like cries for himself.
Everyone hugs him.
Yeah.
And then we have a scene of her sitting on the roots of a tree, talking about how her future is bright. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to get my high school diploma. So I'm like, what happened with that? Why didn't you finish school? So she's going to get her high school diploma. And she's like, I can't wait for everything that's going to happen in my future. I'm a man's now. Yeah, everything is great. Everything's looking up and up. And then we see the screen go black and it says 2 weeks ago, 6 months after she was adopted, we get this call, and it's like a disturbing call or whatever. And then it is voice recordings of the Manses. And first we hear Antoine say, something ain't right with Natalia. She's tweaking. I mean, she's done something before, but this is a new low. And then we've got Cynthia saying, I mean, she naturally only has emotions for herself. We're done with her. And then we have a scene of her, a drone footage of it panning up, and she's goth. I mean, she's wearing some like white thick hose, like a black leather skirt, and like her hair is up and different, and she's wearing black lipstick. And the only thing that I have deduced from that one thing is like, maybe she doesn't want to be prayed over anymore. Maybe she's like, I'm good. I just want to live my life, and I want to dress the way I want to dress. I want to be me and do whatever. And maybe that's why he thinks she's tweaking. Or does he really think that she's on meth?
They also said, I feel like she's the enemy in the house. And she said to us that we have held her hostage, made us look like we're the enemy. She's stabbing her family in the back over a complete lie. Which is like, what? So basically that's how it ends. And then we're supposed to be like, oh, so we're the curious case, Nellie Grace is still curious. We're still finding out shit. It continues, like it literally gives us this, the story continues kind of bullshit where you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe, this is a nightmare. So I will tell you that in another update, Cynthia Mann released a statement to the most prestigious news outlet you possibly can. Not even TMZ, which she could have done TMZ, but you know who she released
Media
it to?
Blackout?
Oh, mediatakeout.com?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I knew exactly where it was. Like, no, the Sun. The fucking Sun. The Sun. A grandma magazine.
Oh.
The Sun is one of them grandma paper magazines, like in the aisle of the Vons. Like, like that's what it is. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh my God. And you know what she said? Oh, we're good. We're totally good. No, totally. Everything's totally chill. Natalia is chill. She's living with someone else now, totally living with someone else, but we're fine. We're a family. In fact, here is a screenshot of a recent FaceTime between me and Natalia. It's a screenshot. It's obviously a Droid. It's definitely not an iPhone. And Natalia is just like living somewhere else, honey. And I think that you made a really good opinion or whatever. You made a really good theory, which is that Natalia is going to, with power and money, which she might get, not going to want to be under anyone's house rules at all. She's going to be like, I hate to say this, but at some point, whether we want to admit this or not, she's now going to be a celebrity. Gypsy Rose is like the biggest name in Hollywood right now, I'm saying. And now I'm not saying that Natalia has quite the Gypsy Rose pool, but she's now going to have 3 seasons of a fucking docuseries on TV. I mean, she lives in the middle of nowhere. Of course, people are going to be like, whatever, you can, people are going to recognize her. And having said that, when you have a little bit of money and power, it's hard to keep you underneath a thumb. And I don't even mean Bishop's thumb. I mean Jesus's thumb. And I mean also, like, she's 19. If she's 19, she's going to want to fuck and all that stuff. And how the hell is she going to get out of that like 11-person household? Where are you going to fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, and also
that raggedy ass house.
How are you going to fuck? So many things. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, but she's, and so she wants to be out of their
raggedy ass house.
And jurisdiction. Ooh. Whoosh.
Oh, we did it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to support your girls, you can do so by joining us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month.
Oh, I forgot to say one more thing. Mm-hmm. Sorry. An update from Natalia is that she posted on Instagram saying, hey, you guys, just so you know, I'm totally fine. I'm totally safe and I'm totally happy. Everything's great. But I just can't say anything because I'm under contract. Which means that she's getting paid, obviously, for this. And again, season 3 is, I think, going to happen from Cynthia's point of view. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to lie.
No worries. I hope season 3 is only 1 episode. We're going to make it 1 episode, Chris. We're going to give a synopsis of season 3. We're not doing it episode by episode. I mean, unless they really blow us out the water, listen. We're not putting it up unless it's. We're going to watch the whole season, and we're not putting it up unless we deem it worthy of our time.
They better get fucking Christine.
They better get her too. And I want to see them other kids.
I would throw money. I mean, I know you can't throw money at her. You can't throw money at a villain. Oh, fuck. How do you get her? Here's a horrible thing.
Oh, no, we're not giving her anything. Not a bucket.
I know it. It's like she's already famous. The funny thing is she wanted to be famous so bad, but now she knows this whole thing is like, unless you could somehow be promised, this is a horrible thing. If the producers promised Christine.
Sounds horrible. Stop.
Okay.
Thank you. Patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. If you can't do that, Chris will tell you the free ways you can do it. If you want to go your tirade, go ahead.
Are you taking your thing off? Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, if they wanted to get her, what they would have to do is promise her that they will poke holes in Natalia enough to make Natalia look crazy, which is basically what they've already done by having Terrence say that Natalia's crazy. Because I told you, Terrence said that everywhere Natalia goes, there has been issues, which is the same thing Christine said in her long-ass Facebook thing. Anyway, having said that, you can follow us on Instagram as well. We are at DocuSweeties. We are at DocuSweeties on TikTok. We are at DocuSweeties, whatever, on X with the 1. And we also have a private Facebook group, which I, by the way, posted the screenshots of what I'm talking about in the DocuSweeties podcast Facebook group. Having said that, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, consider giving us 5 stars. We don't deserve it for picking this docuseries, but at least we're all over it. And please give us 5 stars for having even went through the murk, and maybe a helpful review. We love you guys so much, and thank you.
Bye.
Bye.